guys, Emmanuel here, and Nikola Jokic is the 2022 NBA MVP. This makes him back-to-back MVP. He did win it last year, and he won it again this year. And congratulations are in order to Nikola Jokic. And with that, he joins an elite group of 13 players to have ever accomplished this feat. But was it warranted? Did he deserve it? And more importantly, did he steal it away from someone else who deserved it more? Did he steal the MVP from Joel Embiid? I'm going to answer all those questions here in a minute, so stay tuned. Now, all year, the MVP race, most of the year, the MVP race was led by Joel Embiid, right? Prior to James Harden landing in Philadelphia, if you would have asked anybody in the media, or if you watched any form of NBA media, almost unanimously everybody would have told you that Joel Embiid was the MVP of the league this year, or deserved to be the MVP. And in my opinion, the race was always between Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and DeMar DeRozan. Somehow along the way, DeMar DeRozan and Giannis Antetokounmpo fell from the favorites. DeMar DeRozan mainly fell from the favorites when his team, the Chicago Bulls, went from being the #1 seed for the majority of the season all the way down to 4th. And Giannis Antetokounmpo never really got up there because his team never touched the #1 spot in the Eastern Conference. But Nikola Jokic stayed in the conversation with Joel Embiid just solely of how well he was playing. And I'm going to get into that later on. And so Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid really ran away with the race, and it was a two-man race. Both of them ran away with it because of how well they were playing. They were playing some of the best basketball of their career. And I got a chance to watch Nikola Jokic play against the Warriors in the first round, and that extended into the playoffs. He was playing some of the best basketball anybody's ever played. So I understand why he was in the race, even though his team was 6th in the Western Conference. If Joel Embiid was the favorite to win the MVP, what happened? Well, a couple of things happened in my opinion. Number one, the biggest thing, the most significant thing that happened was the trade. The trade that brought James Harden from Brooklyn to Philadelphia. That changed everything. When James Harden arrived in Philly, everything changed. Why? Before I get into it, you first have to understand the premise that a lot of what goes into the MVP and who wins it is storyline, right? The storyline behind Joel Embiid, the thing that was really propelling him in the race was, yes, he was playing really great basketball, but the storyline was he was carrying the 76ers when his co-star Ben Simmons left him and the team out to dry. Now, when James Harden came into town, the storyline shifted. It went from Joel Embiid potentially winning the MVP to who won the trade between Brooklyn and Philly. And that sympathy that Joel Embiid enjoyed from the media suddenly evaporated. It suddenly went away into thin air, right? He now went from the player that everybody felt bad for and was rooting for because he was out here playing his heart out for the city of Philadelphia, while his co-star Ben Simmons was sitting out collecting millions of dollars for doing nothing, all because he was called out in the playoffs last year to do better. And so you can understand why people were, rooting for Joel Embiid and wanted him to win. It's the same kind of sympathy that Russell Westbrook enjoyed in 2017 after Kevin Durant left him to join the big bad Warriors, right? And you have to understand, big part of the NBA MVP is storylines, it's narratives, right? I mean, it is the media, right? Like, they're trying to sell a product. They want you to watch, to follow throughout the whole season. It's like the WWE, but not fake. So the storyline completely shifted for Joel Embiid. He now went from that guy that was doing everything by himself to now having a former MVP in James Harden on his team, a former scoring champion. It's hard to feel bad for a guy like that. And not only that, everything on the court changed as well, right? The whole dynamic changed. I mean, players around Joel Embiid that elevated him, that made him look so good. Players like Seth Curry were now gone. They were gone, right? And now Joel Embiid had to find a way to play with a ball-dominant guard superstar like James Harden. So everything changed. So now he had to give up less shots. players on the team now have to think, okay, well, we have two guys on the team now that are capable of scoring in high volume. Who do we defer to? Who do we give the ball to, right? And they had to figure that out right away as time went on. And also the fact that the 76ers weren't as good as everybody would think they would be right off the bat. They weren't extremely good right away. Granted, now they're good playing against the Miami Heat, but they weren't this good. They still have to figure that out. And in that time they were figuring it out, Nikola Jokic was playing some of the best basketball of his career. He was keeping his team afloat. So the narrative and the limelight shifted from Joel Embiid all the way to Nikola Jokic. And when that happened, Joel Embiid's MVP stock dropped. And on the other hand, Nikola Jokic was playing amazing, stellar basketball. He carried his team to the 6th spot in the Western Conference, a really, really tough Western Conference. That's why it's kind of not judged the same, because the West is just that tough. And for him to do that, to carry his team to this spot, right? To put his team in a position in which they could compete in a playoffs and potentially upset someone. Granted, they didn't upset because they played the Warriors. Nobody's upsetting them. And you have to remember, it's a regular season MVP. The way he was playing the MVP in the regular season was crazy. But because he put his team in that position without his second best player or third best player, that's like if Joel Embiid was doing that without James Harden or Tyrese Maxey. That's unprecedented. Like, that just doesn't happen. And the media loved that, right? The media loved that. And while Nikola Jokic was doing that, Joel Embiid felt some kind of way about it. He did one of the cardinal sins that you should never do, that Kyrie Irving always does. He talked bad about the media. He was going at the media. And that's fine. You can do that. Like, you can criticize the media if you want, but you have to understand what comes with it. You have to understand, when you're in the MVP race, that's biting the hand that feeds you. Because guess who votes in the MVP? Guess who has a lot of those votes? The media and members of the media. That's like Chris Broussard. They get to vote on this, right? So if you're gonna go at them, understand you're not doing yourself any favors. When they go to throw in their ballots, they're gonna, oh yeah, this guy called us, like he was going at us, right? Like when Kyrie Irving called the media peons. There's a reason why Kyrie has never been first team All-NBA. There's a reason why Kyrie's never ever finished 5th in the MVP race. Because Kyrie's always gone at the media, and Joel Embiid did that. He called out the media. He said, oh, we all know I should be the MVP, but it's just because the media doesn't love me. They love this guy and whatever. He criticized the media. He made the media look bad. The media said, all right, fine. You don't get the MVP, and you could say that's bad, but you have to understand, a lot of what goes into the MVP is storylines and politics. This is the politics side of it. So back to the question. Did Nikola Jokic steal the MVP from Joel Embiid, or did he deserve the MVP? In my opinion, he didn't steal the MVP from Joel Embiid at all. I think he just had a stellar season. A lot of things played into why Joel Embiid wasn't the favorite to win MVP anymore. The James Harden, him going at the media, all of that. While on the other hand, Nikola Jokic kept his head down, just played really hard, let his game do the talking, let his game be the narrative. Didn't seem to focus on the MVP at all. He didn't even say a single word about it. It seemed like he didn't even care. He was just focused on winning, right? And that was one of the other things that played into it, right? It seemed like Joel Embiid was focused on playing, but his eyes were also on the MVP. It seemed like Nikola Jokic was just focused on his team and getting his team and putting his team in a position where his team could succeed. And the media loves that, and people love that. The guy that just comes into work, puts on his hard hat, puts his head down, and just works hard. Everybody loves a guy like that. And that is what Nikola Jokic was. And Joel Embiid was like the guy that was, hey, look at me. Hey, a lot of drama surrounding him. And he brought a lot of attention to him that wasn't warranted, that he shouldn't have, mainly criticizing the media. And I think that's what played into why he didn't win the MVP. And also, Nikola Jokic played amazingly this year. Great. Right? So I can't take that away from him. So I can't sit here and say, oh, Joel Embiid, he stole it from Joel Embiid. No. I know how good of a player Nikola Jokic is. I watched that series against the Warriors. The man is really good. Like, next year, I think the Nuggets are going to be the favorites to win the NBA championship. You're hearing it here first. May 11th, 2022. I'm calling it here. If the Nuggets are healthy next year, and the way that Nikola Jokic was playing, and Jamal Murray comes back, and Michael Porter Jr. comes back, everybody better be on the lookout for that team. That's what I got when I was watching the Warriors versus Nuggets playoff series. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the MVP, and congratulations to Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid. Well, there's always the next team, buddy. Right? But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Drop a like for the algorithm so more NBA fans like you and I can watch this video. Subscribe for more content, and click here to watch. Why I think James Harden's washed. And aside from that, see you next time, kids.